No, you weren't lied to. The rules really have changed. Dubai has officially removed the minimum investment requirement for the 2-year property investor visa. No 750,000 dirham threshold, no entry-level cap, nothing. Yes, this is real and it was officially updated. Let's break it down and see how this affects the Dubai property market and, most importantly, investors like yourself. And guys, if you want to stay ahead of these updates, not after they happen, but when they happen, and get the full investment breakdown of my very own properties, full tower disclosures, costs and projections, I would be honored if you would consider supporting the channel through memberships. Honestly, the value you'll be getting is unmatched. At least I really try to do it so you truly benefit of it. So check it out now and join the VIP Investor Circle to get early access to videos, exclusive member-only videos, deeper investor breakdowns, market intelligence insights, and exclusive strategy discussions only with members. Now back to the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, let's break down what exactly has changed, how it works, who qualifies, and what this means for investors. According to a recent coverage from Khaleej Times and other UAE media outlets, Dubai has officially updated its 2-year investor visa and accordingly its requirements. Previously, to get this property investor visa, you should have a property of a minimum value of 750,000 dirhams. Moreover, if you were a mortgage buyer and you want to receive this property investor visa, you should have actually deposited 750,000 dirhams. However, now no minimum investment is required for individual property owners. That means that if you are a sole property owner of a property in Dubai, regardless of its value, you are eligible to apply for the 2-year residence visa. This honestly is a significant shift. Let me give you some background and tell you why this matters. The 2-year property visa in Dubai allows you to live in Dubai legally, sponsor your family, access UAE banking, and benefit from UAE residency privileges. And most importantly, operate within one of the world's most strongest investment hubs. And historically, these 750k dirhams acted as a barrier to entry, let alone the 2 million dirhams for the golden visa. Now, this barrier is gone. This opens the doors for smaller investors, studio buyers, entry-level buyers, strategic yield-focused investors, and most importantly, to anyone who considered it in the past, but the barrier was too high. So what's the eligibility breakdown for this? Let's clarify exactly how this works. First of all, if you're a single property owner, there is no minimum property value required. So you can get any property and you will get your 2-year property investor visa. Important note is that the property must be in Dubai. Properties from the other Emirates or the AFC are not accepted, at least at this moment. Number 2, if there are multiple property owners on the title deed, if the property is jointly owned, each investor must hold a share worth at least 400,000 dirhams, even if the ownership is split equally. So, to wrap it up, joint investors still require 400,000 dirhams to get it. The no minimum requirement applies only to sole single investors. This distinction is important because many jumped into thinking that they can buy with their partners, spouses, and just get whichever property and split the ownership. However, this important requirement clarifies it fully. Now, if we speak about the documents required to apply, you will need the title deed, Dubai issued only NOC from the bank in case the property is mortgaged, or payment statement from the developer. You should have a passport copy, which is valid for 6+ months, old Emirates ID if applicable, and a digital photo, ICP compliant. Oh, and also you need a UAE health insurance and a Dubai Police Good Conduct certificate. This should be addressed to DLD and it's actually very easy to get, although it sounds confusing. I got the same one and you just apply it on the Dubai Police website. Nothing scary there. It just sounds maybe like that, but it's super easy to get and you will receive it within a few days, if not within the same day even. Special note for some applicants from specific countries such as Iran, Libya, Pakistan, Iraq, and Afghanistan, they must bring the national IDs. Now let's break down the visa costs after you purchase the property and you just want to get your 2-year property investor visa. New property investor visa is priced at around 10,545 dirhams. Renewal of this visa is at 8,215 dirhams. dirhams, and the cancellation is at 1,239 dirhams. So while the minimum property value requirement has been removed, there are still administrative costs involved. And we all know Dubai is a fee-based economy, so you kind of pay for everything, which, yeah, it's not as attractive as in some maybe other countries, but at the end of the day, you still have all these benefits, including the no tax, or now the 9% corporate tax after a specific limit, which still makes it very attractive and very easy to get with this new no threshold investment requirement for single owners. So how do you actually apply for it? Applications are processed via the Dubai Land Department DLD portal website called dldcube.com. The steps are, first of all, accept the terms and conditions, confirm the residency status, upload all the documents, and submit and complete the payment. The process is pretty straightforward, streamlined, and fully digital. So what this means for the market? This is not just a visa update. This is a demand-side stimulus. And here's why. Previously, investors had to deploy a minimum of 750,000 dirhams. Now, a studio for 450,000 up to 600,000 can also qualify. That significantly lowers the entry point for foreign buyers, and it may also increase the demand for smaller units, support entry-level market segments, encourage yield-focused investors, and most importantly, boost liquidity in ready apartments. Psychologically, reinforces Dubai's positioning as one of the most investor-friendly cities globally, even amidst these tensions. To be honest, for us investors in the UAE who've been present here for many years already, this is a very good move because it really will create more liquidity. People will consider more options. So the supply available in the market is not just going to be sold between the same hands, exchanged between the same owners, or just being bought in distress when bad times happen, but it's also going to target some other completely new untapped audiences, buyers that previously didn't pull the trigger because they weren't ready, they didn't have all the capital to deploy, all the associated costs such as the 4% DLD, 2% commission, they're not taken out, so they're not removed. You have to actually pay for those. So even though the property will be 450 to 600,000 dirhams instead of 750,000, for example, you still have to pay all the associated costs. So basically, if someone was even ready at around 700k, there is still another 7 to 8% to be paid on top of that for all the associated costs. So now when the barrier to entry is lower, all these associated costs are also going to be lower. This update really makes studios much more attractive, affordable one beds, much more powerful and demanded, and smaller entry tickets more strategic. However, this doesn't mean automatically buy anything. You still need to do your due diligence, rental yield analysis, service charge evaluation, because that's quite important and it actually could add up, yield projections, and exit strategy clarity. Visa eligibility alone doesn't make it a good deal right away. If you're considering buying a property specifically to qualify for this investor's visa, today's sponsor, Wim Real Estate, can help. They are my trusted agency partners and they work directly with ready market listings, off-plan launches, developer relationships, and visa-linked investment purchases. If you're serious about entering Dubai market under this new rule, I highly recommend speaking with them if you just want to have an agency who can help you throughout this process. And if you need something specific, you want me and my team to source a deal specifically for you, then reach out to me directly. All the links are in the description below, and I'm more than happy to speak to you and get you the best deal possible in this market. Now, what's my investor perspective on all this? I've mentioned it briefly throughout this video, but personally, I really think this move is strategic and I really like it. Dubai continues lowering friction for capital inflow, which is so important for global positioning, especially when other countries are doing completely the opposite, raising the bars. Even one of my very favorite countries that I've recently visited and stayed there for a month, Andorra, they actually increased their levels, increased the investment required to get any kind of residency there. I think now it's over €1 million. That's really crazy. And I mean, who can actually get in there? Only millionaires, obviously. So while obviously even in Dubai, it's mainly people with capital and you still need those 400, 500K for an apartment. That for a second is still not €1 million. That is only up to 150 to $200,000. So this update is really consistent with global visa reforms, long-term residency expansion, and most importantly, investor-friendly regulatory changes. And yes, we've seen the tensions rise, Middle East escalation happen. UAE was primarily and directly targeted. We really can't avoid that, but we see how many good things are happening as well. And honestly, nowadays, getting an investor visa at this kind of cost in a market that allows you to trade globally, has all kinds of integrations with all payment processors, checkout, Stripe, has a very tax-friendly environment. This is quite rare. And by the way, I'm not even saying that you have to live in Dubai. You can just buy a property, get your residency, and become a tax resident here, and maybe even work from somewhere else, which makes it even a stronger point because you wouldn't really want to commit too much money if you just work from the beach in Bali or Thailand, but you really need that tax-friendly environment. Overall, to wrap it up, the 750,000 dirham threshold is now officially gone. But again, smart investing always requires discipline. Visa access is easier on one side, but opportunity and good investments still belong to those who analyze the investment properly. If you're considering entering this market under these new rules, do it strategically. Please consider all the aspects. And hey, don't forget to check out the membership subscription and the already available members-only videos. I have a feeling you might find them pretty relevant. And as always, bringing you the unbiased truth in real estate. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, drop all the comments in the section below, and I'll see you in the next one.